Man, do you know why your wife sometimes, maybe frequently, maybe all the time it seems, why does she seem to hesitate? Why does she seem to delay? Why does she seem to be putting you off, right? You're looking for intimacy and she seems disinterested, lackluster, not excited, just not bringing her best to the matter. And I want to talk to you a little bit today about uh, your wife's rationale, perhaps, but more her design. There's something about her design that you may not understand. And there's some reason, there's a legitimate reason as to why she seems disinterested in your advances. And so let's get into it. I'm Rod Harrison. I am a marriage coach and a relationships expert, and I'm here to coach you a little bit, if you will. Just want to offer what I love doing, something that I'm passionate about. I help high performing people really get focused on reducing relationship stress, improving their connections, their intimacy, their relationships, and really increasing their output in terms of their performance in life. So if this video speaks to you, make sure that you like and subscribe because there's more where this came from. This is what I love to do. All right, back to the subject matter at hand. Like, why? Why is she delaying? Why is she hesitating? Why is she there but not fully there? Why do your advances not get the response that you're hoping for? And you're probably increasingly feeling some kind of rejection. You might even be at a place where you're like, hey, you know what? I'm not even asking anymore. I'm not even trying anymore. As a matter of fact, you might be at a place. I hope this is not the case, but I understand that it happens. You might be at a place where you're looking to someone else to fulfill that need, that desire that you have, because the frustration is deepening and the distance is widening. And you're looking at the woman you used to love that you said you were going to spend the rest of your life with. And this part of the relationship, the intimacy part, is not really flowing. So we got to talk about how women are designed because most men, in all of my years as a coach, as someone who has studied counseling, someone who has been working with people in all sorts of walks of lives, couples in particular, from the very wealthy to everyday people like you and me, this part of a woman's nature must be understood. It must be respected so that she can respond in a way that is consistent with her wiring. All right, so let's talk about this, because you got a wife who, she's capable of leading perhaps. Women are doing great things in the world today. By the way, I've been married for 33 years, so I get it. I got four daughters, really. So three from our marriage, and my son's wife is our daughter in love. I've been working with some really capable women who are leading, who are making good money. They are sharp, they're capable, they can sit in high powered meetings and give great input. And, there are lots of women like this. And maybe your wife is one of those women where she's a high performer. She brings a lot of money to the table, perhaps. This is not uncommon. Um, and yet there's still something she needs from you. Because you might be feeling insecure. You might be feeling like, "Well, what does she need from me? I'm trying to give her myself. I'm trying to make love to her. I'm trying to, yeah, advance our intimacy, but she doesn't seem to really need me. Maybe all she needs is her job and her high-powered meetings and all of those things." And the truth is, that's not the truth. That's not the case. So, for the most part, let me just say this: women don't respond well to pop-up sex. Now, that's not everybody. Um, unless there has been significant emotional investment in her and in the relationship. Women are designed by God to respond. Here's what the Bible says on this. Some of you already know this. Husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the church. And then he goes on to say, and wives, see to it that you respect your husbands. Now, there's a whole lot of madness as to what that means. Love is clear, however, right? Love is very clear. Respect is a response. And here's how God wired your wife. We'll talk about how he wired you later. Another time, maybe another video. But he wired your wife so that she responds to love. She responds to love. You're like, well, what do you mean? I don't understand. She responds to love. If you want to see intimacy increase, you got to really learn how to love her so that she responds to your desires. Because that's what she's going to do. She's going to respond. She's wired to respond. I didn't say she couldn't initiate in times. In fact, her initiation is often a response. It's a response to something she's been receiving from you. She's wired to respond. This is the nature of women. It doesn't mean that they can't lead. It doesn't mean that they're not brilliant. I mean, they're all of that. We already get that. We already know that. But she responds to love that's kind, love that's warm, love that's gracious, love that's emotionally present, love that sees her for who she is and what she's good at and what she brings to the table. Not just sees her body, not just sees her sexuality, right? She responds. Okay, can I take you one level deeper then? So in the New Testament, it is husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the church. That's a sacrificial love. It's so powerful that the sacrifice of Christ made the church what it has become. You may not even be into spiritual things, into church, into religion, into God. That's cool. But hear me out. Hear me out. Here's what I'm trying to get you to see. What I'm trying to get you to see is when he said, husbands, love your wives. When Paul said this, husbands, love your wives like Christ loved the church. When Christ loved the church and died for the church, there was no church. There was no church. He was suggesting that when husbands love their wives, that you help your wife to become something precious and powerful and beautiful. She responds to love, and she becomes her best person. She becomes her most giving, responding, responsive, right? She responds. And what I'm trying to help you see is that your wife is designed to respond. Okay, let me go to the early part of Scripture, right? So in Genesis, when God creates Adam and Eve, the man and the woman, he creates them anatomically unique, body features unique. He makes the man to have anatomy that speaks of initiation. And yeah, y'all, you tracking with me? That's how you are made. She's made so that she receives what's initiated. So she is responsive. She is receptive. And so when Adam and Eve were created, there was no issue with initiative or response. But as soon as things went crazy, all of a sudden there's an issue with initiative and response. And here's what I'm saying to you. Here's what I've had to learn in my 33 plus years of marriage is that as awesome and amazing as my marriage is, it's better when I'm loving my wife well, when I'm sacrificing for her, when I'm not telling her, oh, well, I'll do this if you'll do that, right? Well, I'll do 50% and you do 50%. That's bananas. That's bananas, right? You and I were made to be the leaders. I know some of y'all don't like this because you got dudes who jack this up, but you were made to be the leader. She's made to respond. Yes, she can ball in the work world. She can handle the heavy meeting. She can give direction, and she can be very productive and successful. But if you're her husband, she's looking for your leadership. She's looking for you to give some vision, to give some some sense of direction to not only the relationship, but to the family. She's looking for you to lead with your love, to lead sacrificially, to lead in such a way that when you show up, she feels safer. Oh, how about that? She actually feels safer because of how you show up. She doesn't have to wonder if you're going to handle the parts of family life that you handle well, right? I'm not into this only men can do this, only women can do that. No, I'm suggesting there are things that you do well that make the family tick, that make life go. When you do your part and you do it consistently and well, she's going to respond to that. Man, we are you tracking with this? Hey, let's take a quick break. Let me share something with you that I think will be a huge help to you. I mentioned earlier that some people, when their wives are not responding, right, may step outside of their marriage, and there can be infidelity. And maybe you've had that experience, or somebody you know has had that experience. It can be painful. It can be confusing. It can leave a person completely devastated. They don't know which way to go, what they should do, what decision to make first, and it can become absolutely overwhelming. And so I created my first 5 steps guide for people who have gone through or maybe in the middle of that experience. It's a free guide. It might be helpful to you or to somebody that you know. But one of the things that it does is it helps people not make decisions that they will regret. It helps people actually immediately get on a track toward healing and recovery. So don't forget the first 5 steps guide, and it's just for you. All right, so let's get back to this whole discussion. Why is it that your wife just does not want to? All right, so what we're talking about, how important it is that she feel loved, that you make her feel safe, that she experiences you as a gentle, caring leader who sees her, who gets her, who knows her. Let me give you some things that you can do. I think this could be really powerful in your relationship. Can you handle a little bit of transparency? Can you handle this whole idea that you might have to learn some new things? So I'm gonna give you 4 things. One, ask her what she needs from you emotionally. Just ask her. Hey, baby. Hey, boo boo. Whatever. I don't know what you call your wife, right? Whatever you call. Hey, what do you need from me emotionally? All right. That's going to stretch you. I promise you. It stretches every one of us as men because that's not our normal, natural approach to life and relationships. But women want more of us emotionally. Ask her, what do you need from me emotionally? She might fall over. When she gets back up, she's going to be like, I can't believe you asked me that question. Can I think about that? Or let me tell you right away. She needs something from you emotionally because all of us need something emotionally. In fact, you need something from her that's emotional. Yeah, I understand you need the intimacy and all that, but you need something emotionally too. I'm telling you, when you get to the core of her emotional need, it's going to change the game. When you start showing up, meeting that need that she outlines, it's going to absolutely blow your mind. It's going to blow her mind, and then she's going to blow your mind. All right, you tracking with me? All right, ask her how you can make some things right that you've gotten wrong. You might be an amazing husband. I'm not tripping. I'm not putting you down. I'm just saying there's some things that you have not gotten right. There's some things I didn't get right. So I got to check in with my bride, Sherry. I got to just check in and just say, hey, what do I need to make right along the way? Because sometimes women won't tell you right away. I told my wife the other day, I hate when you go quiet on me. You ever talking to your wife and you say something and she just don't say nothing? I'm like, okay, what did I say wrong? What did I do wrong? She just goes, well, I was just trying to be quiet because I didn't want to come out and tell you exactly what I was feeling and thinking. We got a chance to talk about it. So I had to make it right. I had to say, hey, I was wrong on that. Forgive my approach, forgive what I said. What can you make right? Here's the third thing. Ask her what blind spots you have that it would be helpful if you paid attention to them. You got blind spots, bro. We all got blind spots. You cannot live in this world and not have blind spots. Nobody's perfect. Nobody gets it all right. Here's the thing. Oftentimes we got blind spots and nobody's telling us them. We got blind spots and nobody's telling us the whole deal. It's not like you go around every day asking somebody, hey, can you tell me what my blind spots are? No, you got blind spots. I got blind spots. I was working with a couple just yesterday, and his wife was complaining because brother had been cheating on his wife. But more than that, it was how he was showing up, bitter, angry, distant, lying. And as she began to point things out to him, at first he was super defensive. Well, you just this and you just that. And you just. Then I said, hey, I think you need to pause and own these failures, these mistakes, right? She's pointing out to you things that you haven't seen in terms of how she has experienced you. So we all got blind spots. Ask your wife, can you point to me my blind spots? Let me tell you something. That alone might get you hooked up. That alone could get you hooked up, right? Hey, I need you to tell me what my blind spots are. Like if you can't handle 10 of them, say, just give me 2 of them. Give me 2 of them to work on. Ask her, what blind spots do you see in me where I can get better? Is this not the scariest thing you ever heard somebody say to you? I'm telling you, bro, if you can handle this, the lights are going to be out. Maybe you want the lights on, but you follow what I'm saying? It's going to create a huge shift in your relationship. All right. So, what she needs from you, how you can make things right in areas where perhaps you've gotten it wrong. You know, if you got an attitude or something like that, what your blind spots are. So here's what you may need to do. I had to do this. You might have to do this. I ain't got nothing to sell you, by the way. I'm just telling you what you may need to do, right? You might need to get yourself a good coach who's going to help you get to where you need to be. There's a great book out there called What Got You Here Won't Get You There. Oftentimes we got these blind spots. We've made mistakes along the way and we don't know because sometimes people don't tell us or we didn't hear it. We were hard of hearing. And so get yourself a good coach. You can't get better on your own. I've never seen anybody succeed wildly without some help outside of themselves. Michael Jordan had coaches. Come on, help me talk. Every great athlete I know has had coaches. I worked with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed for years. I was their team chaplain for 14 years. Their coach is now my coach. They're the guy who trained them on their way to our Super Bowls. That guy is now my coach. Listen, I know what it took for them to get to where they got to, right? And their fitness, their ability to compete at a very high level because they had a coach in their corner. You and I can't get better. Listen, the reason I hired him to be my coach because I was really bugging. I'm like, man, I'm getting on this treadmill. I'm trying to pump me some iron. Here's what I discovered. I didn't know what he knows. I didn't know what he knows. Listen, man, the reason you're not really flying high in your marriage is not because your wife is necessarily tripping. Now, maybe she is. Maybe I'm preaching to the wrong crowd right here, as they say. But maybe it's because you need to get better in some areas in your life, and you won't pursue the resource. If you want to get better, you got to get some coaching. Maybe you need to talk with a friend. You need a friend who's going to shoot it straight with you, right? But whatever you do, right, the price of getting better is far less than the price of never getting better. Let me say that one more time. The price of getting better is far less than the price of not getting better. And so I want to challenge you. I want to encourage you, right? If you want to see things turn, ask your wife those 3 questions and then get yourself a good coach. Maybe you can join one of my programs and I can help you help you get to that next level as a man. All right. Hey, the Bible says, in all of your getting, get wisdom. Chase it like you have lost your last dime. You got to chase wisdom. You got to chase better. You got to chase improving. And here's what I know: when you get better, intimacy gets better, relationship gets better, because you show up differently, and she will respond because she's wired to respond. All right. Hey, I'm Rod Harrison. I hope that this was helpful to you today. I'm glad to have spent this time with you. Hey, I want to see you go to otherworldly levels in your relationship. This is stuff I obsess about. Hey, make sure that you like and subscribe. Make sure that you get the First 5 Steps guide. That's yours just for free. Just click on the link in the description. And whatever you do, don't give up on your marriage. God has something great in store for you. I'll see you in the next video.